Okay, 6 o'clock, I'm going to call the meeting of the June 29th Plan Commission.
There you go. I wrote it down. Approved Planning Commission.
Thank you. Haley, can we have a roll call?
Rick Day.
Here.
Sandy Faust.
Here.
Joe Mullinex.
Here.
Dave Moon.
Here.
Jonathan Moon.
Here.
Patricia Russell.
Here.
Dennis C.
Here.
Okay. Reading and approving previous month's minutes.
I move that we suspend the rules and dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Old business. Vacating a portion of Darrow Street located between addresses 140 West Boulevard and 152 West Boulevard. A little history on this is the Burritts want this closed because of traffic and people speeding up and down in there. And the utilities do not want it closed. So what we are doing now, we tabled it last month, and we are going to talk to someone from the utilities to explain why they do not want it closed. Who is here to do that? Anybody?
I'm here also.
Street Department.
Can you come up, like?
Hello? Did you all get the letter?
Yes. It's in their packets.
My name's Nick Parkman. I'm the stormwater coordinator with Peru
I'm
Utilities.
sorry?
My name's Nick Parkman. I'm the stormwater coordinator with Peru Utilities. This is Adam Sheets, head of the street department. Did you all read the letter from Mike Walsh?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any questions regarding everything that's stated in the letter?
Can you put it concisely so that the public can hear what he said?
Sure. So essentially, when we need to access that alley, it's so narrow. When we come in from the north and come in from the south, in the event that there's an emergency, and we have access down to the west and to the east, that in the event that there is an emergency, we need to have more than one vehicle that access that. And when you have this south portion closed off from, I guess, Hill Street down to Boulevard, it would make it extremely problematic to get more than one vehicle in that area. Also, and that's for the overhead lines. Also, on Hill Street, I've never actually seen it labeled as Hill Street, so.
Right.
There's no sign or anything, it's just.
Oh, I know, right? So we also have a sewer line that runs down Hill Street, heading to the west, and there's another sewer line that runs heading to the east. And we have a really big Vector truck that needs to make access in. And you can't just maneuver this thing in certain ways. You have to go in it straight on to be sure that we can do the job properly without getting too descriptive. And with that being said, if we have to leave with the Vector truck full of the material that we take out of that sewer line, it's best to go downhill rather than up the steep hill. Same thing with the electric trucks. So couple that with icy conditions, you don't want a full Vector truck or line truck trying to egress out a steep hill, because then you're going to have it sliding back down the hill and all that kind of stuff. So I'm essentially paraphrasing what was in the really well-written letter that Mike Walsh wrote. Also, with the drainage issues, you're going to potentially add a lot of problems because there's nowhere for the stormwater to go. If you can see down at the bottom, there's a catch. Right now, that's a conduit for all the stormwater coming down off the hill. So you remove that channel, it's got to go somewhere. So it's going to come down that hill, potentially run there's development on 152, it's gonna probably go into the grass, but a heavy rain event could potentially go into whatever they build there. 140 is for sale. If somebody buys that and adds on to that, that rainwater could potentially go into whatever they add there. I live, ironically enough, I live at 136. So this is not something that, you know, I've lived there for 13 years. So the speeding thing, I've seen it. I have a 13-year-old daughter. She just, it's never really been an issue for us, but she stays out of the road. I understand their complaints, but looking at it from a utility aspect and the advantages that we have with that particular access, it would really,
Can I ask a
it would really
question?
hurt us.
Hi, I
Yes.
get to meet you, my husband.
Oh, yes, hey,
Hi,
nice to meet you.
Susan. Where's the catchment? Can you show me on the picture?
Right in front of your house. That little black dot right there is your catch.
No, I don't even see it because the road's so bad. I don't even notice it. I didn't even notice
You
that.
look for it. 'Cause
I don't
it's-
look for catchments.
Right, I do.
Actually, you do, my
It's
husband.
about that big. It's a big one.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll say something later.
But as far as drainage goes, the water has to make it to the catch basin or to do it properly. So if the road's in disrepair, that's an easy fix too, and we've talked about that. But there also has to be things done on the homeowner's side to prevent stormwater from getting in on a rain event. I can't do anything if the stormwater can't make it to the infrastructure, so.
They're just wanting water away from the building, that's what they're talking about.
Sure, so everybody does, but that's where we work together and try to fix these problems when they get brought to us. But we also have budgeting issues, that kind of stuff too, so.
Now, we have several other, we'll just call it Hill Street and East-West Alley. That's where your power lines run and all of that.
Sure.
We have several other alleys that would be just as hard to access in this town
Sure.
with your equipment. Now, if I understand right, she can explain this to us in a minute if I've got it wrong, but the street would still basically be there because they both use it for access. They would also like to build a garage up towards the east-west alley area and fence that area in so they'd have a fenced yard. So there really doesn't need to be full-time access through there.
Can I also say something?
Come on up.
There is, that I found out from the homeowners over here. Up here belongs to the Peru Utilities, whereby those trucks, the big trucks, if they had to, they could move around. These guys, Kevin and Shasta,
Lacey?
yeah, Lacey, they told me that they have been mowing that ever since they purchased the property. I think it was 13 to 15 years ago, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they said that there's quite a bit, because it goes right up to the big tree.
Yeah, their
Big
property
tree
actually
there.
stops about right here.
Yes.
You have Elevate up, right?
I can get elevated.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Their property line stops right here, and they have been mowing all the way up to this. This is their, the pre-utilities easement actually goes out here, and the power lines run all the way down the alley. But
Awesome neighbors.
they moved away.
I know.
Now, you also, on the north side of that alley, own that property too, where that,
Negative. We don't-
according to Elevate,
There's a strip right here, but
showing on Elevate, it actually shows up just past that pad.
right in here, I believe we own just up to here. But what I'm saying is, say you have a rain event, right? And the ground's muddy. You can't get a line truck stuck in mud or dirt. You have to stay on the main path to travel. So say you've got this big oak that's here, knocks down this huge segment of lines. And you gotta have multiple line trucks out there coordinating at the same time. And then you've got another line down here, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just,
I understand.
Sure.
We have several north-south alleys or east-west alleys like
Right.
that. So how do you handle,
Hill,
huh?
on a steep hill. Also, this is the only access from Boulevard to Logan Street, all the way to Broadway,
For quite a while.
than Fremont. So from here, this is the only way you get to Logan Street. So that was another
But it
thing.
is steep.
It is steep,
It's
yes.
steep to go up it. Yeah, and then there's rivets in the road. People have a hard time getting up that road, just regular people. I can't imagine a huge truck go all the way from Darrow. Aaron isn't familiar to me, but I thought it was Darrow all the way.
So I think it's wrong.
On Google Maps, which shows that as Aaron.
All the way down. It's
No.
calling it on.
This
it's
is Google
calling it
Maps.
For a locate, true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of strange.
So what I was saying is, say you guys build a big garage here, right? Whatever you
Not
guys.
that big,
Well,
but pretty big.
sure. So say they go to pull off and then ice hits and they slide into it. That's the kind of stuff we don't want to have happen. Whereas if they're pulling downhill, then they're going to be,
Well, pulling downhill, talk about ice, they could slam right into our garage there.
sure.
So either way, you know, that's no big deal, but we don't even look at that because what we're trying to do here is we want to have it up to this point,
I understand.
you know, for the reason of we're right on the road.
Yeah, I know.
And y'all have big trucks, even the garbage truck coming through there, you know.
But that's a
And
whole
our
other
drainage, I guess, goes right into our garage, the lower garage, the little garage.
And there's-
Never fit anything in.
And there's things that you can do to prevent the drainage from going into your garage as a homeowner. You have to do.
Well, my husband's a builder, so.
Sure,
he
right,
knows all
I've
about
talked to
that
him.
stuff, but yeah.
But at this point, the drainage issue by closing Darrow would make no difference in all honesty.
No,
So drainage is kind of a
moot point, yes.
moot point at this. So show us exactly where you wanted to build these.
Well, he just wanted to go to where we could, oh, you mean the garages?
Yes, you know what you want to fence off and show us, and let's see if we can figure
Well,
something
we have
out
the
here.
garage here, right here, kind of underneath these trees for the shade.
And then you also want to build a fence.
And we wanted to have a fence that would go, you know, like,
They still can.
and
Why can't
actually
they?
along here. And he was
What's it
gonna
got to do with the road? That's what I'm asking.
They're worried about speeding, or people speeding down the hill and then sliding into it, which essentially they could still do by coming down.
Sure.
And then, oh, this road's closed now, and then button down Hill Street. But, I mean,
Which is what they do already up Darrow.
and if you leave it open, they'll still come down Darrow regardless, because it's been that
Well-
way.
He was talking about palums. What do you call those things?
Right. So-
Barriers.
Thank you.
So what happens when them people hit that barrier? When somebody gets
Well-
hurt, whose responsibility is it?
The city's probably.
Yeah, this
That's a
is-
whole
this
nother
is city
word.
property.
That's what I'm saying.
Anytime you have a barrier anywhere,
Yeah. it's
you know,
good.
and barriers are, you know, so that's kind of a moot point too, who's
Right.
responsible. The,
Can I chime in as far as the street department goes and plowing that?
that's what we're
road?
trying to figure here.
So when we plow this road, we actually start on Logan and we come down the hill, because obviously,
You don't want to go up?
there's times we can't go up it.
Sure.
Now, there is an option of flipping the truck around and backing up it, but that's just dangerous on a road, you know, public road like that. So we only do that in like emergency situations. So if they were to close this road right here, okay, we'd have to come down on an icy hill, mind you, try to get the truck stopped to get it turned. How often is that gonna slide off and hit your structures here?
It's not gonna be there.
Or wherever it is. Here's,
You'll
for
hit-
example, up on Croom in South Peru, there's a road.
Fair enough.
Wilson, I think, cool, Wilson, I think. Either way, it runs into an alley and does a 90-degree. We can't go up it, but we've got a problem, it's a city street. I would say about every other year, we have a truck slide off, and it's gonna be about the same exact situation here.
Okay, I want to tell you something. I don't know, I saw saw a truck just the other day, a big truck, come up, and they weren't the garbage truck, but they picked up our garbage, and they didn't go straight up Darrell, they backed out into the street on the boulevard. And I thought that was kind of weird.
It wasn't a garbage truck?
It wasn't, and they picked up our garbage. Yes, I don't
I
know.
don't know who that would be.
It was a big city truck, big dump truck. Yeah, did they use dump trucks every once in a while?
Did they pick up brush or did
Not to
not?
pick
No,
up
it
garbage.
picked up, they lifted my garbage, I watched them, and came back over, they took the garbage out, and they
I
backed
know,
out to
a
the
lot of
street.
brush and stuff they'll pick up.
Yeah, well, even brush and garbage now are both picked up by a pack.
Yeah.
I thought it was unusual, but.
Yeah, that's extremely
The
unusual.
trash routes down Boulevard cuts up Darrow and down Hill Street, right?
Yeah, yeah. They go
That's-
up here.
But you know, all these people here, all these people, all my neighbors here, right here, they put their garbage up here on Hill Street. The
Yeah.
only exception is us, and we would be doing that. We'd be putting our garbage up there like everybody else does. We wouldn't be having it right on the street.
Right. Yeah, I don't think garbage is really gonna be so
Well,
much.
I'm just
the
making
issue.
a point,
Right.
that's most everybody, we follow suit with what they were doing.
It's trying to get that truck, stopped on icy road conditions, in order to get it turned without sliding it off into your property.
So what do you do when you're on Fremont?
We're going straight down, just like we do when we do
Go
this.
straight down Geary, or as you go
We
down?
go straight down
Darrell?
Fremont too.
Okay.
Yep.
So you couldn't use Fremont all the time, which is a better road, a wider road?
Well, Aaron would still need cleared off.
Yeah, that's still a city road, so we would still have to do our job as far as for these
That little
two.
piece right there.
Well, I mean, they're taxpayers too, so yeah.
No, I'm
we
just
would-
saying, that's the point,
Right,
that's where
right,
you would do
right.
it, right there.
Just be nice for these people to have the use of their land that they've purchased and so forth,
Right.
And
Yeah,
the
they-
reason that my neighbors
do it.
left was because it was unsafe. One of the reasons, and they wanted to have a larger situation with, for their children. Because he had I think a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old, and the 4-year-old's pretty rambunctious, likes to play everywhere. He's adorable.
Yeah.
But he's still a true boy, so they were worried about him. Of course, whatever y'all decide, that's life.
I just like to come up with a consensus, but something everybody could work with,
Right.
I said, I've looked on this since it came across our desk. I looked with Mike Walsh, and like I said, we have no problem abandoning alleys that don't have infrastructure, crucial infrastructure that,
Sure.
and if there's, like I said, most of the stuff that comes across from Haley it's just grown-in alleys that haven't been touched, and it's.
This is the first time you've ever told us, other than where there's utilities, where,
Yeah.
it would be not an issue,
This
so.
is an actual street.
It doesn't look like one now.
I mean, it's paved, and that's where it's.
The only thing that I was wondering about when I was driving the street and looking at it and all that, because the street does not fit any of the other streets,
It's definitely a weird one. But
I was wondering if the street was actually dedicated. And here's why I say that. When you get two different names on one map, one name on another map,
well, this is the first map I've seen where it's labeled differently. Usually it's Aaron all the way down because I've had to call it in on.
There is a street.
Elevate calls
It
it
says
Darrow.
Darrell Street on
yeah, Elevate shows it as Darrell all the way through, so.
Yeah.
But I was just curious as maybe somebody had put up a street sign like they do around here from time to time, down their alleys and stuff. And maybe the homeowners or somebody else had paved it, but it was never actually a dedicated street.
I bought my house off when my grandmother passed.
Mhm.
And
It's always been there.
that's always been there. I'm 40 years old and it's always been Darrow. But as to why it was labeled the way it is from GIS and Google
Really a moot
Maps,
point, in all
yeah, I
honesty,
really have
but-
no idea. Like I said, Hill Street there's no sign saying Hill Street anywhere. But
I was just thinking Fremont was a more, it's not a dangerous street because it looks like it's well cared for because it is paved, it has
Hill Street's a
curbs.
street, isn't it?
We don't have curbs on our street.
No,
it's
this,
gravel right now.
I know.
Yeah, it's all gravel.
this all actually looks more like a north-south alley
Right.
than a street.
Is Hill Street paved?
No, it's gravel.
Was it? I thought it was.
It's supposed to be paved this year.
Yeah.
And y'all maintain it really well, because I was up there just right before we started getting to our house, and they do a really good job of it. It's really nice.
Actually.
You need to do Darrell.
Well, and honestly, Hill Street and Doro, those are both on our list.
They are.
I believe this year.
They're on the list that you gave,
Yeah.
because they gotta raise
Okay,
a
happy
couple
dance.
mammals.
Yeah, we're waiting on the asphalt company. They're kind of backed up from all the rain we've had, so it's probably gonna be August before they can get started.
Now, if you were going to do that street, you would be widening it also?
Well, I mean,
That wasn't discussed. I mean,
You sure couldn't do it on our side, because they'd be
There's no
wide
room.
open into our garage.
Right.
yeah, you can't really.
I mean, you're right on the street.
Yeah.
But we'd adjust, I mean, you could adjust the crown.
Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
not talking about that, I'm just like, their house is literally right on that
I
street.
know, because I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
I live right there, and I've seen it, when I saw it come across, I was like,
what came first, the street or the house, I wonder?
I wonder that too.
I mean,
Because we
really,
just bought it.
chicken. Because, back in the day, it was nothing for them to build their house right on a road.
Right.
But it is grandfathered, I did know that when they did the title work, et cetera, on that. So I know it's weird, but
do you guys own the property to the
yes,
west of it? Because there was a house there.
yes, sir.
There is a clean.
Yeah, it is.
So,
What? How old is it?
We could find out, but
I mean, that's,
it's there, so it can't move anyways.
Well, yeah.
do you have any other questions from utilities or street department?
I don't think so. I appreciate everything that you said.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you.
So you own 154 Darrell also, right? The lot next to it?
Our house is here, right there.
Okay, but you just have the one lot?
I have that whole lot there.
They have
I
this
have
one
the
too.
whole thing.
Okay. What if you moved your garage next to the,
I've been trying to talk my husband into that, but he thinks he might subdivide. It sounds like a she shack. But I understand his reasoning though for that. And he wanted the garage to be up and up.
no, I understand that. I mean, that'd be more of a shop type thing than a,
Yes, sir.
because you already got a garage on your house, so.
Yes, sir. That would be a kind of a man cave. That's what would be closest to the road. It's been a conversation.
Yeah, as far as the kids on the other house, a lot of people live on busy roads that have kids.
I did.
Yeah. You either teach them what to do or you put them in a fence.
Well, they moved.
Huh?
They bought another house.
Yeah, they
So that
moved
was
there, so.
mistake.
And we stayed.
We almost bought it.
Well, you should buy it.
I know.
Boulevard's got way more speeders on it, and
It's really
I
bad.
mad dog them all the time, but there's nothing you can do. I mean, they just can't play in the street. They can't even ride their bike down the sidewalk
Yeah.
because there's no curb or tree lawn. So
Yeah, the north side, there's
there's nothing.
nothing, yeah.
So,
Because if they're coming east and you're coming west, you are right up against the edge of the road on.
you know, my
Boulevard.
grandma used to have me pull weeds on the sidewalk with a screwdriver and just leave me out there, sitting there on the curb pulling weeds. And that just amazes me. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's Boulevard's speeders going down there all the time. But, yeah.
I'm just surprised the speed limit is what it is on Boulevard.
And people park on the south side and they pass each other and it's really tight.
You're right there.
I usually pull over.
I can tell when somebody that doesn't live on Boulevard's going by because they pull over. Because I
Yep.
just go right by them.
Yeah, so do
I
I.
hug it. I'm just going. I'm like, yeah.
Once you get the real width of the street, you get the feel for it, yeah.
We were just worried about the safety, you know,
I understand.
because all of our kids are grown, but theirs weren't. And that was one of the issues too. I guess you could put like a big, what do you call those?
You were talking.
Speed bump?
Throw out, yes.
Oh, a spike strip?
But then if you did that, probably somebody would lose their transmission and all kinds of stuff, so.
Or run into the garage.
Or a kid's
That might be
playing
good.
sign.
Then you get your
I
sheet
didn't
back.
say that. I didn't say that.
You guys were talking in here about putting speed reducing structures. You gonna consider that?
Oh, yeah,
That's something we could look into. I guess it just depends on how the vote goes. I mean,
Well, it's in the,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
something we're not opposed to at all.
how would that affect your plowing though?
That's something he would have to
Yeah,
answer.
as far as like a speed bump or something in there, yeah, we'd probably take it out every year.
No.
Would you do like a rolling speed bump rather than one of those?
Rumble strips.
And another thing about speed bumps too, if the street's gonna be left open, the cyclist goes down there, hits the bump too fast, city's got a lawsuit. I mean, I hate to be.
Well, if you put the speed bump sign up there though, that's on them.
Right, right.
Speed bump
We
sign
do
and
have a
kids at
sign
play sign,
that does- we do.
Yeah, I
Those are
mean,
around.
because I wouldn't be opposed to that, even on Boulevard and on, because there's even, these people have 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah, they do.
We could talk to Miles about that.
yeah, and even top bull from traffic, make sure all the signage is right, spaced perfectly apart. But, yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be opposed to it. And as far as the speed bump, the plow drivers would be aware of it, have to bump their blade up, obviously, to miss it, but
What about making it a one-way?
that would be actually even
Good idea.
better.
Make it a one-way only from Boulevard to Logan, but we can still go whichever way we need to for emergency
Your
reasons.
emergency access, yeah.
What would that do to you guys when you're coming down it though?
Well, you would just post.
Doesn't
it
matter,
up.
through city.
Yeah, we could do what we want, just throw our flashes on.
Yeah, I just don't want somebody screaming bloody murder because one does and they can't.
Well, yeah, and I get that, because you know that.
Well, she
you'll have
lives,
two.
she lives there, and I live here.
Right.
I'm not gonna say, you gonna say anything?
Well, if it has
Actually,
city,
I like that, making it one way.
One
That-
way would be your best option, it's not even wide enough for 2 cars anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
That's the whole thing. That's why we wanted to make it property. Because it is not, it's really, I don't know how y'all go up it without, you know, well, you just know what you're doing. That's all.
But if you make it a one-way, if you make it a one-way here, only that way, then they can't gather speed coming down this hill.
I like
You don't
that.
worry, you don't have to worry about them coming in and crashing into
That's a good
your
idea.
house.
Yeah, that's a
Great
good idea,
solution.
actually.
I like the one.
What about recommending to the Board of Works that we make both parts one way,
Yeah.
off Logan to Boulevard?
Say again.
The whole, he's talking the whole Darrow.
That's,
it-
yeah, when I'm saying this, I'm saying the whole thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you couldn't do it, that wouldn't,
Right.
Right.
Okay.
With that one way down Boulevard, they speed down Boulevard.
There was an elderly lady that lived here.
Yeah,
She doesn't drive anymore.
no, her son was here. Yeah, and was talking about that.
Yeah, she used to fly down that hill. I haven't seen her in a long time.
He does it for her.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good solution.
so
The only thing I don't
you'd be
know-
okay with, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, no, he could still come in off Boulevard and go in the driveway. But that's, now, the only thing I would have to say is,
He's got.
no,
Can you drag the map down a little bit so we can see more of the upper part of Aaron Street there? I see where you're going with
if
this.
you make it one way, these people have access here. So that would be another,
See, they can still come down here and get in.
Not if they made the whole street one way, is what he's talking about.
Yeah, because they'd come in here.
No.
if you
No.
make,
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
right, I'm thinking down, not up.
if you only
Gotcha.
make this stick one way,
Right,
You can't really make the other one two-way.
Right. 'Cause
because
they
this
both,
one, because people need to access this. And if they're coming, these people all live here, this guy parks here, and these people, I think they have parking.
They've got a shed back there.
Yeah,
But don't they also have a driveway off of Logan?
they do, but,
Yeah.
I mean, they park down.
Their
here.
overflows in the back.
They purposely put that in for the people. when
We
they-
put this easement in for us, but they were also accessing the backyard parking back there, so.
But if you pave Hill Street,
Yeah.
they may be more likely to come in off Fremont.
That's true too. They may take Fremont and go straight in there.
Oh, especially if it was a one-way street, then they wouldn't have much choice. Of course, they can always go up Darrow Street and
And make a right turn and get into there.
just access it that way.
And then come out.
If they
go
knew
up-
ahead of time,
go
they
up
could
here
do
or
that.
Come out Hill Street.
And this is a Board of Works issue, so if they had an issue making a one-way street or adding signage or anything, that is a Board of Works issue.
Right.
So this wouldn't even go to city council. So if we
Let's see,
said,
I think our agenda says the portion of closing, I think we need to take a vote whether we want to close it.
Right.
All this other stuff is extra.
That's right.
That's fine.
We're getting off the path here.
Yeah, thank you, Nick, I like that. I wasted a half an hour just over this.
well, we're helping citizens, and that's what we're here for. Well, it is what we're here for.
You can't close it.
Thank you.
It's not a waste at all.
No. Okay, then we recommend that she go to the Board of Works with this.
Okay.
So you're going to need to go to the Board of Works with this?
Do we have to,
Do
we need to vote
to
and deny
vacate
this?
it
I
or
think we need to
not?
vote.
We're going to vote.
We'll vote on it, but then that's what she'd have to do after this.
Okay.
Right.
So,
Do I hear a motion to not vacate?
So moved.
I second it.
I think we take a vote.
Huh?
I think we ought to take a vote.
Roll call.
Yep.
Roll call.
Rick Day,
No,
Joe
Wait a
Mullen,
minute.
you want?
No means
what-
we don't.
What is your,
She said not to vacate.
not to vacate?
Not to vacate it.
Yes.
okay.
That's what I'm saying, let's get them straight.
A yes means that we don't vacate, a no means that we, okay.
So yes, we're not going to vacate it.
Joe Mullenex,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Jonathan Moon,
Yes.
Patricia Russell,
Yes.
Dennis C.,
Yes, don't
Sandy
vacate.
Faust.
Yes.
Want to be perfectly clear.
All right. So it will not be vacated.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so now you go to the Board of Works as to what?
Where is the Board of Works?
If you want to come up to City Hall tomorrow, we can get we close at noon, but we can get a paper signed and filled out for the next Board of Works meeting. I believe it might not be on this one, but it might be the next one. I'm not sure when it
We're
is.
going to be gone the month of July.
Okay, so then we can do it for the August one, because I believe there's 2 a month.
There is.
Uh-huh.
First and third Tuesday of the month.
Yep,
Yeah, the Board of Works is July 6th.
yeah, okay. So it would be, we can make it to where it'll be on the first August meeting. Okay?
So this means that what y'all said was,
We're not touching the road.
not touching the road, I know that, but as far as what y'all were talking about, making it a one-way or something, that's.
That has to go to
Yes.
the other, correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good, so, is that it?
Uh-huh.
For
I can
you,
go now?
you're excused.
Thank you, y'all have a good evening.
Have a good one.
Okay, new business, vacating an east-west alley located north of 116 Monroe.
I'm still talking
And I see we've got
about place on.
letters from the utilities that
Mhm.
there's no problem.
No problems.
I'll see him.
Is there anybody here
Brandon?
representing this property?
That would be me.
Okay, come on up.
Pardon my appearance, I just got off work.
No worries.
So the reason we
Could you please state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
Name is Brandon Reed, 116 Monroe Avenue. The reason we were asking to vacate the alleyway is, if you look at the alleyway, it hasn't been used in a long time. There's actually, the entrance to the alleyway is blocked by
Would you
street
mind
signs.
going over there and actually pointing where you're talking about?
If you look right here, there's street signs at the entrance of the alleyway. Elevate's a little bit off, because my property corner's right here, and comes up to here at the light pole. And from the light pole over to the alley, there's signs and cordage and, you know, little guy line for the light pole. And then this is all just, it's grown up. You guys mow it from time to time, but it would just be nice if we could absorb it and maybe put a fence there and just absorb it and try to care for yourselves, I guess.
Now, you know that you will only get half of that.
Right.
Okay. And nothing from utilities.
And I would like to say that the other end is blocked as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
there's absolutely no vehicle entrance.
that's Miami's Fork, there's a fence there.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Do I hear a motion
I make a motion, we close it.
I see.
to closing?
To close.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Rick Day,
Yes.
Joe Mullenix,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Jonathan Moon,
Yes.
Patricia Russell,
Yes.
Dennis See,
Yes.
Sandy Faust.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. This will be discussed in the city council.
Yeah, it'll go to the city council on the 12th. It's better if you're there to explain.
didn't seem like a problem.
Sometimes they don't have.
I read about it,
but,
so it didn't seem like a problem.
But yeah, then I'll let you know if you don't know. I'll let you know if you need, if you have any questions.
All he has to do is be able to let people in if they have to get to
It's July 12th, is the next meeting, and it's at 6 o'clock here in this room.
Okay, July 12th, 6 o'clock.
All right, yep, no problem.
Okay, Haley, I see that this next one was withdrawn.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't need to talk about that at all.
No.
Are there any public comments on anything? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
You're on the next one.
Yep, there's two.
Hang in there.
Yep, you're good.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.